Hello and welcome back to CycleFab. In this video I'll be unboxing a new piece of equipment, the Vevor 22L Ultrasonic Cleaner. Now I got this off Amazon for $218.99, plus tax of course. I've been hearing a lot of good things about the ultrasonic cleaners, so I just decided to break down and get one for myself. So let's unbox this and put it to work and see if it's as good as everyone says for cleaning really intricate parts, like this 4-bank carb set off the GS550 Suzuki. I'll get to this later. It was really bad. It's the worst carb I've ever seen. I mean, it was all frozen up. I finally got it unfroze, but it's bad. It's still bad. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed. All right, here comes the fun part. I love getting new equipment in. Don't really like paying a lot for it, and you know what? This really wasn't that much. I mean, roughly 220 bucks. So if it works as well as they say it does and what I've seen on YouTube, then yeah, okay. Anyway, all right, got the power cord, instructions. Now the instruction manual, it's not very intricate. It's not very intense, which I wouldn't think that it would be. This is basically a heater and a vibratory cleaner. Well, that's what it is, with fluid in it. So you have an on-off switch and a thermometer. I know what it does. Let's go ahead and get it open. All right. Okay, foam. It's packed really well. Very well, actually. This is really dense foam. This isn't that crappy styrofoam that just comes apart. Yeah, it's really packed well. The foam's even glued together. All right. Now, the tank's made out of stainless steel, 316. And there's no dents in it. It looks to be well manufactured. No scratches. Good deal. All right. I'm sure I will scratch it up eventually, but I'm gonna try to keep it as new looking as possible for the time being. Okay, yeah, that's really dense foam. Good. Got a basket in here, stainless steel. Wrapped in the little popper paper. Okay, it has 4 feet on it, and the feet are rubber coated. So that keeps it from scratching the bottom of the tank. And it's well made. I don't see any little hiccups on it. It's actually well built. It's not shoddy material at all. Okay, set this off to the side. I don't want to set it on the lid and scratch it up. I don't think it would scratch. It has the rubber feet on it. All right. Now this is also sitting on a big foam blanket down inside there. So this, oh yeah, and the cardboard box is really super thick. Okay, let me inspect this. Yeah. Nice. Now this has a brass drainage valve on it. Nice and tight. Heavy duty brass too, by the way. On-off switch on this side. Also, you plug the power cord in on this side. This is the back, obviously. 2 handles on the side. Now, the walls of this, they're tapered down about, well, a little over 6 inches. So, this is 6 inches deep, maybe a little more. I haven't measured it. Let me grab a tape real quick. See what we got here. Yep, 6 inches. All right, now the front of it, I'll read the directions here later, right? I'll read them to myself. I'm not gonna bore you with me going through a direction manual. But it looks pretty straightforward. Temperature set, negative, positive, on and off. And the timer set, on and off. timer plus, timer negative. It's very straightforward, guys. Not rocket science. All right, now what I have heard about these is that when the timer goes off, the heater does not turn off, okay? So don't set it to clean your parts and then leave the house. You might come back to a fire or something like that. Anyway, never leave electrical appliances on. Everybody knows that. Anyway, this does not shut off. You have to manually shut it off after the cleaning process is over. At least that's what I've read. I will test it out and find out for sure. So what I'm going to do now is I want to mix 50%, which is of the simple grain. 50% is the heavy duty full strength 1-to-1 ratio. All right. So I want to mix it with 50% water, 50% simple grain. And then I want to see how well it cleans this carb. The first thing you want to do is fill the tank before you plug it in or turn the power on. Do not ever turn the heat on without having a liquid in the tank. It could damage the machine. Also, do not run this longer than 1 hour. You can also damage the machine. Another thing, after you're done with the process of cleaning, turn the machine off, let it cool down naturally. Do not drain the liquid out while it's hot. You can damage the machine. So let's go ahead and pour this in. Also, another thing, this is advertised as 22 liters. That means a full to the brim 22 liters. Okay, so take into consideration you're going to have something in here. Obviously, you wouldn't fill it to the brim anyway. You put something in here, it's going to raise the liquid level. So what I'm going to do is pour 1 gallon each of simple green and distilled water in here until I get it up to about where I want it. 50-50 mixture. Probably be a good idea to wear safety glasses. Simple green is not something you want to get in your eyes, more than likely, but obviously I'm not wearing any. Oh yes, and make sure your valve is closed so you don't get fluid all over your table. This is a very strong mixture. More than likely I don't have to mix it this strong to get the effect that I want, but I really want these carbs cleaned. The directions say between 40 degrees Celsius and 60 degrees Celsius is the best operating range for this unit. So I'm probably going to go to the high side. Anytime you have a detergent or a cleaning solution that is hot, the hotter it is, the better it works. That's been my experience, so that's what I'm going with. Going by what the manual says, as soon as you plug it in and hit the on-off switch in the back, which is right above the plug, your digital readout will light up. Now, it will read the room temperature or the temperature of the liquid that's inside of the vat. And also it will do it for 3 minutes. As the instructions say, we plug the machine up and turn the switch on in the back, which is right above the outlet to the back of this machine. Now the readout is going to read the temperature of the liquid that you just poured inside. And it said it will do it for like 3 minutes, then shut down. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and warm the detergent to in between 40 degrees and 60 degrees Celsius. I'm going to go to the high side. And you have little arrows here. I don't know if you can pick them up. You should be able to. You hold it down continuously and it will go up in temperature. If you just hit it slowly, one at a time, it goes up 1 degree at a time. So let's get this up here to 60. Okay, we're at 60. Now let's go ahead and turn it on. And we'll wait till it warms up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and set my time while I'm here. I wanna run this 30 minutes. I can run it to a maximum of 60 without hurting the machine, but I don't wanna really push that right now. So we're just gonna go do 30 minutes. Again, hold the button down until you get to your desired time. When you get close to it, just individually. All right. Now I'm going to time how long it actually takes to heat this up from room temperature, or 25 degrees Celsius. I do not know what that is. I do not have a thermometer here that reads Celsius. I ended up putting 4 gallons of solution in here. 2 gallons of simple green, 2 gallons of distilled water. That came out to 15.61 liters. And it's about 1.5 inches away from the top of the tank itself. So if this is actually 22 liters, I don't know, it may be. I'm not going to measure it. As long as it does the job, I'll be happy with it. If you guys want to know exactly how much fluid this tank holds, let me know down in the comments and I'll be happy to measure it for you guys. Okay, I want to show you guys just how dirty these carbs actually are. Give you a real good close-up of them. They are filthy, nasty, dirty. They were literally frozen up. I soaked them in lacquer thinner for 2 days and that didn't do anything to them really. I mean, it got some of the gunk off, but they were still froze up, okay? And then I soaked them in oil, or at least the little parts of it I put oil on, butterflies, so on and so forth, and just slowly started working it and finally got it loose. I'm hoping that the ultrasonic cleaner will clean it up even more. Then after that, it's going into the soda blast cabinet and then back into the ultrasonic cleaner again. Well, I found out something interesting about the thermostat. If you set it at 60 degrees Celsius, it's only going to go up to 58 and then the heater's going to shut off. So in order to compensate for the thermostat, you're going to have to raise the temperature up to 62 degrees Celsius to get it to actually heat to 60. Now, that's like 3 to 4 degrees Fahrenheit variance. Is it really that important? No, it's not. Now, 60 degrees Celsius equals 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're actually operating around 137 to 140. That's sufficient enough for heating this solution up to clean our carbs. So let me go ahead and do that. I want to see if it's going to fit in there, if the liquid's going to cover the carbs, if I might have to add it a little bit more. I'm not sure, so let's find out. It's steaming. All right. Set this off over here. Oh yeah, I can see the currents, heat currents moving around. This is interesting. I'm gonna like this. I want to really like it if it actually cleans everything. Now remember, it's a good idea to wear eye protection. Now it doesn't cover the carbs completely. I want to turn the carbs around to see if I can get them to really get submerged. If I can't, then I add a little bit more fluid. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more fluid to this. Now the basket sits about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch above the bottom of this tank. And it has to do that in order to get the vibratory effect to work. The carbs cannot be sitting directly on the bottom of the tank. The fluid is actually now about 3/8 of an inch below the edge of the vat. I really didn't have to do that, but yeah, I just want to make sure that it's all covered. I could just roll this thing around back and forth during the process, which would be sufficient. All right, I want to see what our temperature dropped down to since I added the cooler liquid. Okay, it dropped down to 54 degrees Celsius, which is probably about 132, somewhere around in there, Fahrenheit. But I want to go ahead, it's still hot. 132 degrees is pretty warm. So I want to go ahead and turn the vibrator on. Now these things, from what I hear, are kind of noisy. We're fixing to find out. That's not bad at all. Not at all. Now I have the timer set for 30 minutes. And I can already see some agitation going on with the part itself. We'll give it a few minutes and come back and check, and I'll let you guys take a look at it. Before I pull this out, there's a couple of things I found out. First off, the thermostat is off. Not by much, a couple of degrees. So if you want to run it at 60 degrees Celsius, you're going to have to turn it up. What I'm going to do in the future is just set the thermostat at 70 degrees Celsius. Then it should run somewhere around 155 degrees Fahrenheit, which is fine. It's not too taxing on the machine, and I get a nice hot solution. So let's pull this out and see what's going on with it. I'm kind of curious myself. And be sure and wear gloves because this is warm. Hey, it worked. I'll lay it out here on the table and give you a close-up of it. Now the nastiest part was on the bottom where the floats were and the bowls. The rails in here were extremely bad. We still have some, well, oxidation or whatever. The deal with these carburetors, I had carpenter ants that made a nest inside one of the cylinders, and they got there via this carb. So they left some ant goo or whatever down in here, so it kind of oxidized a little bit, but that's okay. I have a sandblasting machine that I use bicarbonate soda in, and then I'm gonna, after I disassemblies, they're going in there, then back into the tank. But yeah, it's much better than what it was, definitely. Yeah, it had residue, fuel buildup, shellac, all through here, and that's gone now. Let's see if this is still operational. Yep. Okay. Well, it definitely got all the oil out. This was real smooth where the choke slide is before I put it in there. Now it's kind of, well, sticky, like there's no oil, which makes sense. It's been in a degreaser, but that's great. That's good. Okay. Well, I give this machine a good rating. I'm really satisfied with it. It did exactly what I expected of it. Now, again, I'm going to run it back through here after the soda blaster and probably a couple of more times, but it really beats taking these things apart. You do not want to have to take a 4-bank system apart. Now, I've never taken one apart. I heard it's a real pain to get them back together. I just don't really want to do it. I don't want to learn on these. I'm trying to get them done and get them out. And trying to clean this with carb cleaner and a toothbrush down inside all the, in between the carbs, that's just frankly impossible because you can't get down inside there. So this is the solution. That combined with a sandblaster with bicarbonate soda, which is where this baby's going next. I hope this video was beneficial to all of you. And if you like the video, then please subscribe and hit that like button. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.